So first of all,
How about we figure out who the author is of
the first SCP we get to read today. Let's see here. I almost forgot how this works. Hey, we know this one. Pepper's Ghost. We know Pepper's Ghost. Let's see. I also recognize. Yeah, Pepper's Ghost is the one with the popping machine. Yes. And the crew of the HMS Winters. I'm pretty sure we read one of the Black Cotton Candy, which actually got released. No, wait, no. Did the Black Cotton Candy just get released? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Is it this one? Yep. Freshly released. Well, no, I say freshly. It was like 12 hours ago. But, yeah. Black Cotton Candy got fresh released right now. But what is the most recent one of this that we read? I mean, we're getting to read this one now. Oh, here we go. Motormouth. Yes. I believe Motormouth was the most recent one we read from those. Which, Motormouth is a pretty good one. I had a lot of fun reading that one. Oh my god, Sif, hey! Which, by the way, guys, if you didn't realize, Sif and I, we actually read Motormouth together. So, Pepper's Ghost, that's gonna be another one of the same person that wrote Motormouth. And this time it's called Phone Calls from Mom. Before we start, I want to say I made the mistake of going on the Discord, the SCP Discord, and being like, "Hey guys, I'm about to read 2190s. Are there any like SCPs I should look forward to in those 10?" And I made the mistake of not saying, "Please tell me in a non-spoiler way," because there was one person that like went through all of them, was like, "Oh, this one's boring. This one's not that fun. This one is about this," and I was like, whoa. Slow down, I still need to read them today. But yeah, gotta remind myself to ask in the future, tell me in a way that doesn't spoil the story. But yeah, Phone Calls from Mom. Here we go. Oops, rating, yeah, from last time. Vinmon is also here. Welcome to Fluff, everybody. Welcome to Fluff. Sif, I thought you had to work. What happened with that, eh? What happened with that? Alright. Here we go. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation agents embedded in regional cell phone manufacturers and distributors are to ensure that all phones sold within SCP-2190's active area include modified SIM cards designed to automatically filter calls from SCP-2190. Undercover field agents living near POI 2190-2's place of residence are trusted to monitor and ensure the well-being of POI 2 and her family, as well as dissuade members of the community from believing that POI 3 is anything other than a loving husband. Anything other than loving. Ooh, that's already. I'm already worried. I'm already worried where this is going to go, but let's continue. Yeah. Description: SCP-2190 is a telephonic entity that manifests in communication systems within the country of the Philippines. Records of previous manifestations have shown that SCP-2190... What the fuck happened to my iTunes thing down there? Wait, hold on. Is it because it's like... Yeah, there we go. That because it was full screen. I just now saw that it was like pretty messed up. Okay, but it's good now. Where was I? Within the country of the Philippines, records of previous manifestations have shown that SCP-2190 possesses the personality, vocal quality, and financial resources of a deceased Filipino woman designated POI-1. SCP-2190 is capable of calling any mobile phone within a 100-kilometer radius of the home in which POI-2 currently resides, which... That is kind of creepy if you think. Imagine like you don't have your phone with you, but then you think you're like whoever, like it says here, deceased Filipino woman. So you think you're dead. I assume mother in this case because the title was Phone Calls from Mom. Your dead mom is calling the person next to you in a restaurant or in a cafe, and the person's like, "Is there a insert name here in this restaurant?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's me." It's like, "I think your mother is calling me." You're like, imagine trying to like explain that to anybody. The first SCP-2190 phone call took place on the 2nd, 5th, 2007, 3 days after POY-1 passed away at the age of 78 due to heart failure. SCP-2190 has complete, irrevocable control over POY-1's savings and liquid assets. Oh, okay. So whatever money the mom had before, the SCP is now like our money. It's ours. This encompasses the full breadth of resources possessed by POY-1 prior to her death, as POY-1 retained complete ownership of these resources even after being declared legally deceased. Suspected anomalous bureaucratic influence is being investigated. Okay, that we will ignore that one. All attempts to prevent or limit SCP-2190's access to its financial resources have consistently met with failure. Any attempt to close, transfer ownership, or edit the balance of POY-1's bank account via computerized systems will result in a system error, and any alterations to physical documents pertaining to SCP-2190's wealth will anomalously revert the following day. So you can't even like get all the money out and just be left alone by this entity. It's like no, this is my money. Well, our money, as in your mom's and me, whoever I am. And we will do with it whatever we please. Additionally, individuals employed at financial institutions will immediately forget any instructions to alter or deny transactions from POY-2's bank account. Oh, great. So you can go to the bank and be like, can you just transfer like $1,000 over, please? Like, it's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. But client leaves, so like, I know the client just told me what to do a second ago, but I have no recollection. It's gone. Every 2 to 3 weeks, SCP-2190 places a phone call to an individual of its choosing. Records indicate that SCP-2190 makes its selection based on the following criteria. The recipient must reside in a close proximity to POY-2's place of living. The recipient must possess a reasonable level of physical fitness and intelligence. Physical fitness? Oh. Is it trying to arrange something? A little like arranged marriage situation going on here. The recipient must have an urgent need to acquire a large sum of money. Okay, that is okay, maybe not, because arranged marriage, especially with money, is usually, a trade of some sort. So I don't think, maybe I'm wrong with that part. SCP-2190 introduced itself during these calls as the mother of designated POY-2, daughter of POY-1. SCP-2190 will go on to claim that POY-2 is trapped in an abusive relationship with her husband, Albert, POY-3, and will beg for the recipient of the call to help in ending the relationship between the two. That's why the containment requirement is like you have to make sure that everybody is aware that POY-3 is not a bad dad. Okay. A $5,000 or 224,850. What's the currency of the Philippines? Philippines. I can't even spell it. Currency. It's peso. Okay, it was peso. So, 224,850 pesos. Reward is offered for successful termination of the marriage, with 10% delivered up front. So you get $500 or that in peso there. If the recipient agrees, SCP-2190 will provide them with POY-2's present location, as well as the location of POY-3 and their son, Philip, POY-4. Oh, there's so many family members involved. If the individual receiving the call agrees to these terms, they will receive 500, or here we go, 22,485 pesos via wire transfer 2 to 3 days later. Huh. kind of wild to be like, to hear like, oh yeah, my daughter's being abused. Oh. Oh, okay. Somebody rewrote one of the SCPs. I was like, I got a notification on Discord. I have to eventually read that. Where was I? It's kind of wild to like hear somebody like, yeah, my daughter's being abused by her dad. Can you please help out? And they're like, it's like, I'm not sure, but it's like, well, I offer you money. It's like, yeah, you know what? Done deal. Yeah, of course. Now that you offer me money, I'll gladly do it. SCP-2190 was discovered in 2008 during a police investigation into the kidnapping of POI-4. The abductors had sent... Oh my god, yeah, of course, because, like, the kidnappers probably were like, no, we're keeping him safe. We got a call from the mom. The abductors had sent POI-2's a ransom note demanding that she immediately annul her marriage, change her name, and return home to her mother. Wait. Yeah, gotcha, yeah. I misunderstood. It's not the mom's husband, it's her husband. Daughter's husband. Yeah, I'm dumb. Return home, POI-2 chose to ignore the demands and enlisted the help of local law enforcement, who successfully located the boy and apprehended his captors. Field agents embedded in the Philippine judiciary brought SCP-2190 to the Foundation attention when POI-2's mother, whom the kidnappers named as an accomplice and whom POI-2 testified to be frequently communicating with, was found to have been deceased for several years. After SCP-2190 was confirmed to be anomalous in nature, POI-2's family was placed in Foundation custody. They had originally been planned to remain as permanent on-site residents. However, their presence in Site-92 caused SCP-2190 to begin placing calls on confidential Foundation communication networks. As this constituted an unacceptable security breach, the family was administered amnestics and allowed to reintegrate into society. Extensive observation of POI-2's family life over the subsequent years has shown no evidence of abusive tendencies on the part of POI-3. Holy shit, man! You're going through this fast. You mean the paragraph or the reading itself, like the SCP itself, and also yellow. Yeah, because I was messing around. Yeah, okay. I'll slow down. The document log. The following is an excerpt from an interview with POI-2's conductor during the brief time at Site-92. Plus display document. Okay, here we go. That's a big display document. My mother and father were both from here in the Philippines, but she left him for an American so that she could get a visa and go to the US. I was left with my father. She never tried to contact me until I was 19. She called me on the phone, and I was so surprised because I thought she did not know me or care for me. She told me she had found a husband for me in America, and she was sending him to me so we could be married. I mean, like, you're going through SCPs fast. He's not even finished. Yeah, I'm still at the first one. I told her, no, I already have a boyfriend here, and she asked me if I was... Wait, and I was surprised because she told me, okay. And she asked me if he was American. I told her no. And she says I have to marry an American so I can come to the States. She says it's so much better over there. I told her I love my boyfriend, so she calls me names and names. She says I'm so stupid, tells me I have to marry an American. She tells me that after all this time she still loves me and wants me to be at her house in America with her. Can you imagine, after 19 years she doesn't talk to me? Kind of wild to like be like, is he American? No. You're a bitch, you stupid bitch. I love you though. I want you to live with me. And she's like, what the fuck? But even still, she is my mother, and I was happy to know she still loves me, so I told her, I will not leave Albert because I love him very much. But I will try to get a visa and go to you. She told me it's okay as long as I come be there with her. Then she calls me every week, asks me questions about Albert. She asks if he's Catholic, and I lied to her yes, because I'm afraid she will hate him if she knows he's a Christian. Christian in this context being a person of Protestant faith by the more common definition of Christian, as a person who professes belief in Jesus Christ or follows the teachings thereof, those belong to the Catholic Church will be considered Christians themselves. Yeah, I was about to ask. I'm glad they're finally exploring the otherworldly horror of arranged marriages. Well, it doesn't sound fully arranged. It sounds more like an arranged divorce. Instead of arranged marriage. Because, she's already married to Albert. And that was not arranged. That was just oh, I found a guy, I like him. And she's like, oh, but you should find a guy in America. And now mom is dead and her spirit is just well, if she's not gonna come to America, I'm gonna make sure that he and Albert are never together ever again. 2 days later, I get a call and my mother is screaming at me at all these things. She tells me I need to leave Albert because he is Christian. I tell her, no, I love Albert. I love that Albert is Christian and I'm a Christian now too. The things a mom wants to hear. A very religious mom wants to hear. She was very upset. She said she would pray for my soul to not go to hell. Suggested she would pray that Albert would leave me so I would stop being a Christian and be saved. I asked how she found out Albert was Christian. She told me she called her family here in the Philippines and asked them to check and found out. So then basically, dead mom from beyond the grave is paying people to save her daughter from her husband by lying to them, saying hey, my daughter is in an abusive relationship with her husband. Please get her out of it. I'll pay you this amount of money. The anomaly, the SCP itself has access to the mother's bank account. And also if you try to mess with the bank account in any way that's not the SCP itself, it will not work. So no outside source can take money away from it or can transfer it even though the mom is dead. Now, if it's the spirit of the mom or if it's just some sort of manifestation of the mom's hatred towards Albert, we don't know. It's not fully clear, but it could be either or. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is that mother doesn't like Albert and is trying to break the marriage up from her daughter and Albert by lying to people, randomly calling them and be like, hey, if you save my daughter, I'll pay you. She did not call me so much after that. When she talked, she would always tell me how much she loved me and wanted me to live with her in a big house in the US. And every time she called, she would ask me if I left Albert yet or if he left me. Several times, Albert would come home from work and get attacked by people telling him he was going to hell. They hit him until he was on the ground, and the women even scratched him with their nails. I think it was maybe my mother's family or friends, but when I asked her, she said she did not know anything about that. So I wonder if, because she did, the daughter did say that she was still communicating with her mom while the anomalous effect was happening. So I wonder if this is a while the mom was alive, the anomaly already happened, and then the mom died, and the anomaly kept on going. Eventually my mother tells me that she will pay for my trip in the US and she will let me stay with her. She said she is very rich and does not have to work. I would not have to work if I went to live with her. This was in 1995. Albert and I were already married and Philip was just born. We did not have so much money, so I got a work visa and decided to go to the States to get a job and send money from home to family. I asked my mother if I could stay with her and she told me it was okay. When I got to the States, there was a what do you call that big long car? Alright, there was a limousine. Oh god, the mother married rich. There was a limousine waiting for me at the airport. My mother's house was very big. Her husband was the owner of a company and he had a lot of money. My mother threw a big party when I arrived. She gave me so many gifts and told me she loved me. She said The house was too big for just her and her husband, and she wanted her real children to be with her. She also told me she wanted Philip to live there too. My mother did not want me to get a job, but I did anyway, because I needed to send money to Albert. After a few weeks, my mother came to my room with a very expensive dress and said she would take me to a party at a friend's house. The dress was very nice, and I've been working very hard, so I agreed. I'm not even fucking surprised. Honestly, a calculator that makes you wanna... A soul that makes a ghost possess you and make you... Frank and I... What the fuck did you write? Also, I'm like... You heard me like read like 200 SCPs. Like, nothing should surprise you anymore. From like what the SCPs do. Because like I'm at a stage where like after 2000 I'm not surprised at things that they do. I'm just going along for the ride. I'm just here. But what I do find surprising is like how creative people are when it comes to writing and stuff. Because like I do like the idea, because this clearly is based on the whole idea of how, like, especially Asian mothers are so strict on who you're getting married to, or Asian parents, so to say, on who you're getting married to, and they're like, oh, sometimes it feels like even in death, that still haunts some of the children. Like, oh, I would disappoint my parents. Like, but your parents, they're not here in the world anymore. Like, in the long run, once you're older, your parents will be gone. Then your life has been controlled by your parents this whole time. So I think they just took that aspect of like Asian culture and were like, what if it's literally like that? What if the mother literally from beyond the grave is just like. And I think that's cool. I think that's like a cool concept to take. Like you take that concept and make something creative out of it. Next, you tell me there's an organization that contains all of these. Nah, that would be far-fetched. That would be too far-fetched. So I agreed. But then, when we got inside the car, she drove us to some kind of nightclub. I asked her, why are we here? You said we're going to your friend's house. And she laughed and told me it was a surprise. She wanted to give me a good time. We were already there, so I went inside. Mother kept telling me to drink, give me more and more drinks. I did not drink them, but I pretended to. Yeah, that sounds very suspicious. Especially because, like, Albert has been in her life for so long. We can already tell she was trying to hook her up with somebody else. When it was late, my mother brought me to a man named Randall. She said he was rich and that he wanted to sleep with me, and he could even marry me and get me a permanent visa. I asked my mother, is this why you took me here to the States, so you could get me drunk and sleep with an American? Don't you know I'm already married to Albert? And she tells me to forget about Albert, that I need to marry an American. Imagine, even though I have already a husband and a son. Oh, she even is pregnant. Oh, she has a child. She has a child. The mother's still trying to get her hooked up with somebody else. I made my mother take us home. She was very mad, but she did it anyway. After that, she was always bringing men to the house. She told me again and again that I needed to get married to an American while I'm still beautiful and 26. One night I told her, Mom, please stop. I love Albert very much, not because of money, but because I love him so much, and we are so happy together. I told her while I will never leave him. Even though it was cruel, I said, I will not abandon my child and my husband like you did. You left us for money and toys and parties. You never cared about me for 19 years until you realized you wanted me. You don't love me. You don't want me like a dress or doll. You only love yourself. I mean, yeah, it's that's harsh, but it's the truth. Like she is treating her only child, like after 19 years of not communicating, she's coming back and she's treating her child like an object to pass on. It's clear that the reason why she wants her to marry an American is not because like, oh, you can be with me. No, it's because then we have even more money. You will be rich, which means that I will be rich. Richer than I already am. Like, you already got everything you need. You got a limousine, you got a husband who owns a company, you have a very big house. Why do you need even more money? Honestly, if that was my mom, I'd just cut her off entirely and not talk to her unless she's on her deathbed. I think that's what the story is alluding to, but let's continue reading. She got so angry then, it was like a demon was inside her. She was screaming and throwing things everywhere. Finally, her husband had to come and take her away to their room. He told her I was an adult and I should marry who I want. wow, even the husband has a better. And so my mother promised to stop bringing men to the house, but I think it was only to make her husband happy. I told him I wanted to go home, so he bought me a ticket and left next day. The husband is a better father-in-law than the actual mom is. Like, he's a better parent. He's like, hey, I don't know what is up with your mom, but at the end, be with who you want to be with. You don't need to listen to her. I'm just like, what? How did a mom like that get at him? Because I feel like, if that's exactly what you should be as a man. Yeah, exactly. And who knows, maybe the husband also has a daughter, because remember, the mom did say, I want my real children. So like, that means the husband probably has already a couple children, and she's like the stepmom. So I think the husband understands what it is to be a father. He's rich, he's made big bucks money, but he still is a human being. He's still a dad. So he's like, he sees this and he's like, hey, don't let yourself be controlled by this. I'll talk to her. When I was back in the Philippines, I did not hear from my mother again until I think 2002. She said her husband had died and she was very lonely. Gosh. How much do we want to bet that the husband did not die on natural causes? How much do we want to bet on that? Because I don't think the husband was in bad health when he was working a lot and 1 million in nickel. She wanted me to come back to the US and to bring Philip, but Albert would have to stay behind. I told her no, but she kept calling. I stopped answering her. I can't believe after all that, she's still trying to break her and Albert up. Then there started to be rumors that Albert was hitting me. Even at the church, people said they heard the rumors. I knew it was my mother again. I told Albert, maybe she thinks you will leave me if she makes rumors. He told me it was okay and he would never leave me. Ever since we met, we have always loved each other so much and we were always happy together. And when we had no money, and even now that we are in this place, it's kind of crazy that Albert already got like assaulted by people and he still is like, I'm not leaving you. Which that, Albert, respect to you. Hats off. I don't have a hat, but hats off to you, Albert. It's not easy to get fucking like bullied and attacked by the neighborhood because your wife's mother is keeping on spreading rumors around, and you still gonna be like, I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving you. My mother never stopped calling me and never stopped making rumors. My husband would get attacked, and several times he was arrested, and I had to explain to the police what was happening. One time a man punched me in the face and apologized and told me that someone had given him a lot of money to punch me. Then another man hit me, and after that I was always being attacked. Oh my god. Ain't no fucking way. And people thought it was Albert. We moved many times, but everywhere we went, it happened. I cannot believe the mother is paying other guys to punch her so she looks like she's being abused by her husband. By the way, Vin I'm not sure if you heard this. I did ask on Discord. Was like, oh, I'm reading the next 10 SCPs, 2190s. Which one should I look forward to? And there was one person who was like, oh, they're all boring. And this is the first one we read. I am deeply invested. I'm just like, what is going on? What is this mom's deal? This is crazy. Are you kidding me? What, this fucking piece of... Yeah, exactly. The mom is a piece of shit. I cannot believe she is willing to go so far just to break up her daughter and the husband. And let's not forget she also kidnapped the brother. She also arranged the kidnapping. Then another man hit me, and after that I was always being attacked, and people thought it was Albert. We moved many times, but everywhere we went, when it happened, several times Albert said that he would leave if I wanted him to. He did not want me to be hurt anymore, and he did not want Philip to grow up being told his father was a wife beater. That is, yeah, that's on the... I told him that was as long as he wanted to be with me, I would never ask him to leave. It was the only thing in my life that made me happy after my mother caused me to love her so much. At this moment, I understand the husband. Like, I understand that he was like, I don't want to leave you. But at the same time, he's witnessing his wife getting beaten up because he's with her. Like, so I fully understand that he's like, if you want me to leave, I'll do it. And he's like, and she's like, no. Albert, Philip, and I have suffered so much because of my mother. Every night I prayed to God, please Lord, let her die so she can no longer make my family suffer. And I also prayed for forgiveness, because she was still my mother and I knew I should love her. And you know, I do still love her even until now. I cannot love what she does to my family, but she is still my mother, and I hate the things she does, but I still love. You are too forgiven. At this moment, my love for my mom would be completely gone if this was happening. I'd be like, I would ask for forgiveness from the Lord. Yes, I would ask for like her to like retribution and redeem herself. But I would not love my mom after this. I would just be like, you messed with my family, with my love for way too long. You either die a pretty cool guy or you live long enough to become the SCP. Yeah, that happens too, right? The last time I talked to her on the phone, I said, I still love you, even though I also love Albert. My love for you is not less because I also love him. I mean, to be fair, her saying this just shows that she's a better person than most of us. I mean, at the end, yes, you could say, like, no, cut the love off, because like, she doesn't deserve it. But she is saying, like, she is showing that she is the better person than her own mom. She is the better person. And she cried and told me that she's lonely in her big house. She said her house is always getting bigger and would not stop. What do you mean? Getting bigger. Just tell them not to build it. She told me that sometimes she gets lost in her big house and is full of toys and dresses for her children and her grandchildren, but she's all alone and she can't get out. I wonder if the getting bigger is either because she's getting older. So, you know how in age, like, it takes longer to get to places, so the house just feels bigger. Or if because she's becoming an anomaly slowly, the house in itself looks like to her side that it's actually increasing in size. I don't know if she's ever stopped making our family suffer, but I do not feel angry at her anymore. I know that as much as she's hurting us, she's hurting even more, and that is because of the things she did when she was alive. I pray for her soul every day. Even if she could no longer make her phone calls and we're happy here, I would still pray for her to be at peace because she is my mother. Addendum. Well, let's see how that holds up. The following is a statement from SCP-2190 supervising researcher Dr. Jethro Bostenero regarding SCP-2190's containment procedures. Let me just see if this is another. Yeah, okay. That's actually very soon. That's the next milestone in 100 SCPs. Okay. The house itself is magnifying her negativity. That could be it. But let's not forget the anomalous effect is that her spirit, her soul, is calling people. So I didn't know she's. I know that she's. And that is because of the things she did when she was alive. So I think this sentence is telling us she already died at that point, but she's still making the calls. Because remember, it did say that that the daughter was still communicating with the mother while she was dead. So I think when the mother was saying like, "Oh, this place is so big, it's getting bigger," it's because she's literally in a limbo or underworld, spirit world, whatever you want to call it, and stuck there, basically. I think that's what I think that indicates. Over the past few years, a number of colleagues have approached me with concerns about SCP-2190's containment. Essentially, the question people seem to have is, why are we spending so much money and manpower on the current containment procedures when the anomaly could potentially be rendered inert by separating POI2 and POI3? Don't you even comment, after all that, after the whole fucking suffering that they've gone through to stay together, don't you even suggest trying to split them up? If I was Eddie, I understand, you know, trying to contain the anomaly is more important in the grand scheme of things, but if I had heard a story of a couple getting absolutely mollywopped by a spirit of a mother, trying to divorce them, I would not come out and be like, "Yo, how about we just divorce them?" Don't you even think about that. Rest assured that alternate containment procedures were proposed and considered. The containment procedures that are currently in place were specifically selected and approved by the O5 Council for the following reasons. Firstly, intentionally separating POI2 and POI3 would constitute the attempted neutralization of an anomalous phenomenon. Neutralization attempts are only to be carried out if the anomaly in question possesses significant risk to normalcy and humanity at large. SCP-2190 does not meet this requirement. We are not a coalition, we contain, not destroy, is an age-old mantra that I'm sure you're tired of hearing, but it's still very applicable to this situation. Secondly, the present set of containment procedures aren't nearly as extravagant as the detractors have suggested. It's standard practice to have undercover agents, field agents in large population centers, and Baguio is no exception, so we're not losing any extra manpower. The modified SIM cards are paid for by the sales of the phones themselves, and therefore cost us nothing. There is also a third reason, which is quite simply sentiment. It's no secret that suicide rates are high among Foundation personnel, a fact that is generally attributed to the difficult decisions we have to make and the actions we have to perform for the greater good. SCP-2190 is something of a victory, a rare case in which containing an SCP means allowing a family who has endured a living hell to finally live happily ever after. The value of the morale boost provided by these feel-good stories cannot be overstated. If you have any other questions or concerns regarding SCP-2190, feel free to call me anytime during regular business hours. Dr. Jethro Bostanero. Bostanero, I respect you so much. The fact that you were saying like, hey, this is a happy ending for somebody outside the Foundation, a couple that endured so much. We're not going to ruin that now. And that will help us in the morale sense as well. I respect that. Jethro, I respect that. And not only that, he gave them the logistical breakdown. He was like, here's the reason why we're not going to split them up. There is no money being wasted. There is nothing being lost here. We still have following the procedures. You guys are over-exaggerating. Like at the end, he's like, I'm being professional. I'm doing what the job requires me to do, but there's no reason to go the extra mile after all that. Reminds me of wait, imagine being so perfect that you have time to call your daughter from purgatory limbo and still psychologically torturing her. Reminds me of SCP-1337 where they killed her parents. That's not very elite. He's a good man. Jethro is truly the apple of his own time. We had 3 good guys in this story. We had the husband of the mother, we had Albert, and Jethro. All 3 of them were like, we're not going to add extra layers of suffering. I mean, Albert doesn't have any control of the suffering that the family's getting. Like, he's literally just loving his wife and just being there for her. And the mother, for some reason, is like, this cannot do. No, love. For some reason, she's like that. So, but yeah, no, this was awesome. Next time I ask in the Discord if there's a story, if any of the SCPs I can look forward to, I have to make sure to say, tell me in a non-spoiler way, and also don't bash on the SCP immediately. Like, just be like, oh, hey, this one I read, and it's kind of exciting, but depends on if you like this. And you're like, okay, cool, that's all I need to know. Oh, man, because somebody told me it's all gonna be boring. I mean, at the end, I actually did not care what they said at that aspect, because I was like, a lot of people will criticize a log in wholly different ways, right? Zeno will not like a log if it's too long or if it has the word terminate on it. That person that I talked to apparently doesn't like any of these from what I've been heard, from what I saw, except 2193. But yeah. This is what's good about it. You guys get to see how I feel about these things, which Vinmon and Zeno already know that I am very much open to anything. Okay.